Welcome to the following presentation of the National Football League on NFL Network.
As we move into the Christmas weekend, the Bay Area is crisp and cool on this Saturday evening and brimming with holiday cheer. But there's little being offered the visitors at Oakland's McAfee Coliseum. That's where the Raiders are set to host the Kansas City Chiefs in a renewal of the AFC's most bitter rivalry.
Let's get out here and let's start this thing off right. You know what our mission is.
We want to get into the dance no matter what.
We know that in order to even have a chance to win a world championship, we got to start in the playoffs first.
Give me the ball and let me score with it.
Johnson trying to press this flush into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Kind of makes you feel the pressure and you know that everything is riding on you.
It's that time of year when you want to go out there and spoil somebody's, your Christmas, and, so definitely spoil the playoffs, especially if we're not going to be in it.
You're in nation now, baby.
I love it, man. They're like a bunch of clowns out there. Everybody's dressed up in their little outfits and things.
Those guys will be stacked in that stadium simply because they want to see them take us out of the playoff race.
It's a must-win for us, too. So we're going to go out there and beat the Chiefs, beat our rival, and, come out there with a victory.
Pride, always pride. Don't like losing at all, and I got a whole lot of guys on my team that feel the same way.
It's intercepted, and coming back the other way is Chris Carr. He may score. Carr will go all the way. 100 yards for a Raider touchdown.
We're going to keep fighting. We're going to fight, and we're going to fight. We're going to screw you to death, and then we're going to fight you again.
You never know what kind of Raiders you're going to get from one week to the next.
Every game is a playoff game. It's win or lose. And in order for us to make it to the playoffs, we got to win them all. 46 years. That's how long these two franchises have been exchanging the kind of Christmas gifts that leave a mark. And while both teams have seen better times, meetings between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Oakland Raiders are often entertaining, frequently fierce, and almost always close. Good evening, happy holidays, and welcome to Primetime Football on NFL Network. I'm Bryant Gumbel, pleased to be alongside Dick Vermeil and hoping you brought your voice this time.
I'm ready to go.
We've got the Chiefs and the Raiders. This is a bitter rivalry every year. You are a part of it twice a year for the past 5 years. What makes it tick?
Well, I think it's the history of the whole series. Like you said, 46 years of it. It's from the ownership to the management to the coaching staff to the players, an animosity that's been passed on, and then it's taken advantage of on the game field.
Yeah, we're not trying to kid anybody, though, nor sell you a bill of goods. These two teams are struggling right now. The Kansas City Chiefs are 7-7, have lost 3 straight. The Oakland Raiders are 2-12. They've lost 7 straight. Let's take them each at a time. In the Chiefs' case, they're suffering a bit of a Cleveland hangover, aren't they?
Well, they lost that in overtime. It was a tough one and a game they should have won. Then they lose the next two to two very, very good defensive football teams, and they're going to have to bounce back and play like they're capable of. They played awfully hard against the Chargers last week. They play that way this week. I think they could dominate the game because, as you know, the Raiders are struggling on offense.
The Raiders struggling on offense is putting it mildly. They have so many lows on offense, it's frightening. We'll get to some of those this evening. They're 2-12. They've lost 7 in a row. Why have they been so bad? Is it just their offense?
Well, to be as bad as they are, you have to have more than one reason. Okay, you have to have more than one reason. First, only 2 guys have started all 14 games. The other is 2 quarterbacks, 2 coordinators, a lot of turnovers, a lot of sacks, poor pass protection, poor offense.
And we're taking a look at Art Shell. Adam Schefter of NFL Network has reported that at the end of this year, Art Shell will be fired. The Raiders, of course, have issued a press release saying that Adams' report is in error. They say no decision has been made or will be made until the season is over. We had a chance to talk to Art Shell. He said he's not coaching scared. He's a man who, frankly, was fired 12 years ago by Al Davis. He says he's going to go do things his way. Quite a gentleman standing there. This game brought to you in gorgeous, glorious HD on the NFL Network. Oakland has won the toss and will receive. This game a sellout, but you'll see a lot of empty seats tonight. Seems a lot of folks getting set for the holiday weekend have stayed home. Chris Carr will take this just beyond his own 10-yard line. works his way back to the 36 before he is brought down. Let's set the Raiders offense for you. That's second-year pro Andrew Walter. He gets his 8th start of the season. He's been kind of a human pinata. Already been sacked 42 times this year. Behind him, Justin Fargas gets the start at running back. Oakland's deep threat, Randy Moss, is out, and so Morant and Curry are the starting wideouts. Oakland's offensive line, it's been a problem spot all year. Injuries have prompted a series of changes. Tonight, the Raiders, in fact, will be starting 2 rookies at guard opposite center Jake Grove. First and 10 from the 36. Walter will throw and completes this one cross midfield to Johnny Morant. Getting a rare start there, and he takes it to the 45.
It's really nice to start out with a positive here. They're up in a double zone. He's going to release him, then he's going to hook right in front of the safety. Safety will come over and make the play.
So right off the bat, Walter and the Raiders get themselves a first down. Morant has barely played, frankly. That's only his 3rd catch of the year. 2 of them were last week. Fargas will get his first carry of the evening. Fighting for 3 yardage gives us an opportunity to set Kansas City's defense. It's powered by a pair of young and active ends in Tom Bahali and Jared Allen. Derek Johnson is a budding star at outside linebacker, as is Kavika Mitchell in the middle. The secondary is long and experienced. Ty Law, Sammy Knight, Greg Wesley, Patrick Surtain average almost 10 years of experience in the NFL. Raiders go to a double tight end set as Courtney Anderson checks in along with Randall Williams. This is Fargas again getting the first down to about the 32-yard line before Sammy Knight brings him down.
Just a regular gut play right at the defense. You got a real good block by Langston Walker, 6'6", the right tackle, and 83 right there. Courtney Anderson created a crease.
As the Raiders pick up another first down, it is worth mentioning they're the only team in the NFL that has not scored a touchdown in their opening drive all season long. Fargas again. Fighting his way past the 25. Following the block of Zach Crockett, who let him up in there. Crockett, one of those guys cited by Art Shell to us, is one of the leaders of this ball club.
Yeah, he's truly a pro football player. This guy has been around. He's played on 3 different football teams. He's been here for 8 years, and he has been a leader on and off the field, and a very good lead blocker, as you just said.
And a touchdown machine when they get it in close.
Yes. Especially in the old days.
11. Raiders again go double tight end set. Fargas finding lots of running room off the right side, breaking one tackle and gets it down to the 12-yard line before Ty Law can drag him down.
They went inside the tight end and wing backs on the right side of the formation. You'll see right here, he pops it right outside there. They seal. They didn't get the linebacker up in there. He's up inside that A gap, B gap, and boom, Kawika Mitchell, number 50, doesn't get over and make the play.
Raiders getting good blocks from both of those tight ends that had checked in, Randall Williams and Courtney Anderson. Fargas already with 34 yards on the night. Gets the Raiders down to the 12. Fargas to the middle this time to the 9. Tamba Holly gets his first start of the night, his first tackle of the night.
Boy, is he a fine young football player, first-round pick.
State.
Oh, boy, those 2 defensive ends, as they mature, are going to be fine players.
Barry Johnson's dad was his coach.
Yes, a little bit of holding going on there.
A little bit.
By Courtney Anderson. My gosh. There ought to be a law against that, isn't there? They don't do a very good job, or haven't all year. Of course, this might be an exception if they play well now.
They rely on Fargas again, and he struggles to pick up a couple. Tamba Holly once again with the stop.
Fargas has scored 1 touchdown this year. He's as close to the end zone as he's been in a long time. And he's a tough type of guy, sort of a direct downhill runner. Obviously, he wasn't the starter. Lamont Jordan was the starter when a big, fine, strong running back is injured and can't play.
But Fargas has outgained Jordan on the year. So Richard Lee has checked in for the first time tonight on what would loom as a passing down for the Raiders. Swings it out this side. That's Ronald Curry being pushed backwards and out of bounds.
Once again, they don't get the touchdown in the red zone, have to settle for the field goal. Good job by Ty Law coming up there with Sammy Knight. Both guys, good disciplined positions, come up and knock him out of bounds. Boy, that guy's got a few years experience on him, huh? Been around a long time, 12 years, been in the Pro Bowl a number of times, at least 5 times.
And if you're wondering why the Raiders were taking no chances down there, it should be noted that Walter on the year has already thrown 11 picks.
That does make you nervous,
in just 7 starts. And yeah, that would make you nervous. Janikowski with a 25-yard attempt. It's good. And with less than 5 minutes gone in the first period, Janikowski has the Raiders on the board and leading 3-0. Well, you would.
Yeah.
It's a homecoming for you.
Yes, it was and is.
Sebastian Janikowski, having put the Raiders out in front with a 25-yard field goal, now kicks this one away.
Oh.
And the up man grabs it. That's Benny Sapp. Taking it in front of Dante Hall and gets it back to the 35-yard line. Kansas City's offense, Trent Green leads them on the field. Since missing 6 games with concussion, he has struggled. Thrown 6 interceptions, just 5 touchdowns. Running back Larry Johnson behind him has over 1,500 yards on the ground. He's Kansas City's top scorer. Tony Gonzalez is the primary receiver. He's at tight end. Up front, Kansas City showing some age. But in the middle, Brian Waters, Casey Wegman, Will Shields, all 3 can still dominate. We've got our first flag of the night. It was an offsides on the Raiders, so that'll be stepped off.
Benny Sapp really shouldn't step back there and take that one.
He took it directly in front of Dante.
Yeah.
And so the Chiefs, with good field position, their offense has struggled the past 3 weeks. Johnson gets the carry here and works his way to the 47-yard line before Thomas Howard brings him down. The Raiders' defense features 12-year veteran Warren Sapp up front. He's enjoying a monster year at tackle. Derek Burgess with 11 sacks is heading for the Pro Bowl. Howard and Williams, the outside linebacker. Second-year man Kirk Morrison starts in the middle. Safety Michael Huff was Oakland's top draft pick this year. Cornerback Nnamdi Asomugha has 7 interceptions. Swings this one outside. Tony Gonzalez can't get a handle on it. This one's free.
That was
Raiders
a
are bringing
pass.
it back the other way.
That was a forward
Thomas
pass.
Howard.
No, it's a forward pass.
Well, we know that.
Yeah.
Thomas Howard isn't real sure.
He's wasting all that dance move. And it's a good thing that Trent did throw that at a forward angle there. It didn't get it to the receiver, obviously, but it was a forward pass all the way. See, take a look at it here. Just a good angle to take. You see Chris Wilson, 84. He's the lead blocker. See the line of scrimmage right there. The ball is definitely going forward. Definitely going forward. Incomplete pass.
Give Howard credit for finishing the play.
Nice.
When there's a bit of uncertainty, may as well.
You bet.
It's only 45 yards.
Got a pair of tight ends in there now.
Gonzalez goes in motion to the top of your screen. That's who Green's throwing for and completes for the first down into Oakland territory to the 45. Michael Huff
they got
bringing him down.
Got a little congested coming in there. Tony Gonzalez was trying to release underneath Jason Dunn. It was a little crowded in there. It was a difficult
He barely
catch.
got his head around in time.
Yeah. That's what happens when you hold up the tight end on the line of scrimmage. You can't clear the lane for the next tight end.
They move in Oakland territory for the first time tonight to the 45-yard line. The pitch is to Johnson. Gets a block on the outside, nears the first down marker before going out of bounds.
You'll see they're going to take the wing back in this situation and block down. They're going to block, move him here, block here, toss the ball coming outside with the tackle pull. Tight end block down. See big 76 pulling around the side. It's a nice clean corner right there. Good job by Casey Wegman, 62. This has been one of their outstanding running plays all year, and especially in the past as well.
And Johnson got enough for the first. So Trent Green working with a new set of downs from the 35. Give us to Johnson inside. He gets to the 31.
You notice him running the back in motion and just sort of faking it to him and never giving it to him.
Think about for later.
They should give it to him one of these times. But what that does is keep the defense honest and the lanes open, and sometimes helps provide a cutback lane.
Dick, are they using the same terminology that you used there for 5 years?
It's the same offense.
It is the same offense.
Exactly the same. Used a little bit differently, but the same offense. And mostly the same people. In fact, all the same people.
Johnson waiting for some blocking and not getting it. And he's going to lose 3 on the play. Kirk Morrison getting there first. Don't forget, every Sunday, Steve Mariucci and Deion Sanders join host Rich Eisen for NFL Game Day. You can see highlights and analysis of every game. Watch NFL Game Day tomorrow night. It's on a special time, 8 o'clock Eastern, and of course, it's only on NFL Network. Leaves Trent Green and the Chiefs offense looking at a 3rd and 8, and D. Brown is checked into the backfield for the first time tonight. Green in the clutches of Warren Sapp. They're calling this one down. The arm was coming forward. Warren Sapp, as we noted, having a monster season.
I believe right here, Warren Sapp came around the outside there of Brian Waters. Here he comes. Wham! Gets him from the backside. Trent went down on his right arm. Warren Sapp, when he wants to, he can still rush the passer.
After 12 years coming out of the University of Miami.
Well, he leads the NFL for defensive tackles getting sacks this year. With 8, that's his 9th. Brian Waters is going to have to set really firm on that guy. He's strong enough.
The Chiefs are going to go for it on 4th down. Looking at 4th and 8. But they're going to take a timeout because Green was not going to beat the play clock. We'll come back, see what they call right after this. Herm Edwards. It looked as if Trent Green called the timeout before the play clock expired, but they have stepped off. No, they have not. It remains at 34, so they had a discussion, but it remains 4th and 8. He is eschewing the 50-yard field goal attempt. And Green will throw for it, throws low this side for Sammy Parker. We've got a flag on the play. It would appear that the reception would also be somewhat in dispute.
Trent did a very nice job of getting that ball off in rhythm. The ball was in the air. The receiver wasn't even out of his break yet. He threw it low into the outside. The defender can't get it.
Number 29, defense. Penalties decline. Result of the play, first down.
Oakland has no 29. No. We're guessing that could be Fabian Washington.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he
26, Stanford route.
Yes. That was a big conversion. That's tough to do.
Well, but was it a conversion, Dick? Look at it. And indeed, as we noted,
it'd be an automatic first down anyway because of the illegal chuck. But
right, but it wouldn't cost them the yardage.
Right.
Instead of 28, they'd be looking at 5. Either way, the Chiefs are going to emerge from this with a first down. Just a question of where the...
Oakland has challenged the ruling on the field of a catch.
You saw it. What's your initial reaction? Did he catch it?
I didn't see the replay of it. From here, I thought on the field that he caught it, but I did not see the replay.
Pete Morelli will go under the hood. We'll get his decision when we come back. 2-0. We have our first challenge of the night. Art Shell has questioned Pete Morelli's judgment on a catch by Sammy Parker. Morelli has had a couple of looks at it. And Dick, you think it's a catch?
I thought it was a catch.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands, catch. Oakland will be charged with timeout.
Yeah. He had his hands under it initially, pulled it to his body, and it hit the ground. And I think they've got to give him possession prior to hitting
Here's
the
a good
ground.
look at
it. See, his arms underneath the ball. It was already tucked to his chest.
So the Chiefs will have 1st and goal, and Larry Johnson is checked back in. Ball on the 9-yard line is spotted.
They've done a good job in the red zone this year.
Johnson not getting much there, maybe a gain of 2. Stacked up on that side by Warren Sapp and company.
Larry's a very good inside the 10-yard line runner. You know, he can, as big as he is, he can still break off and go parallel and bounce outside and accelerate, get to the pylon, and he can run over the top of a linebacker inside.
In this situation, Trent Green likes to look for Tony Gonzalez, and if Gonzalez manages to catch a touchdown pass, he ties Shannon Sharp for the most touchdowns by a tight end in NFL history. Johnson will get the carry, and he's pushed back as he hits the 6-yard line. Kirk Morrison, middle linebacker, in just his 2nd year out of San Diego State, coming up and knocking Johnson back. There's a look at what we talked about with Tony Gonzalez, a chance to get a piece of history tonight in a place where he played his college ball up at UC Berkeley. By the way,
great football player.
By the way, he wanted me to wish his mom, Judy, a happy birthday. He says if he gets the touchdown tonight, she will get the ball. The 11th play of the drive for the Chiefs. Green will throw for it. Looking and finding Eddie Kennison. He caught it, and we've got a flag.
Good improvisation by Trent. I think they got defensive holding in the end zone there. Eddie Kennison catching his 4th touchdown pass for this year.
And defense, penalties declined.
Touchdown, Chiefs.
Touchdown.
Eddie just kept working. When Trent got outside, see the right side of your screen, he's stretching the zone. Now he comes back to the inside. You can see the pass interference all the way. Great concentration by Kennison.
That was Fabian Washington getting there a bit early.
Over there.
Yeah. Lawrence Tynes is on for the extra point, and the Chiefs are on the board. An 11-play, 60-yard drive. Both teams have scored on their opening drives. We've got a 7-3 ball game in Oakland at McAfee Coliseum with 5:21 to play in the first. Back in Oakland, where we've got a 7-3 score, and Dick, consider yourself fortunate. We've already had more offense tonight than we had in Green Bay 2 nights ago.
We're going to see some more, too.
We've seen both teams score in their opening drives. The Raiders, 9 plays, 57 yards, ending in a field goal. The Chiefs, 11 plays, 60 yards, ending in a Eddie Kennison 6-yard reception. And so Tynes will kick it away to Chris Carr. Carr runs right in the arms of Rod Gardner and brought down the 28-yard line. And we've got some good old Raider Chiefs pushing and shoving. No
Starting a little
surprise
early,
here.
isn't it? It's a waste of energy.
Peace on earth, goodwill toward men.
Yeah, get back on the
Except
bench.
if you're wearing a different helmet.
Yeah. There's some guys around the stands here wearing some goofy helmets, too.
We'll take a break while they cool off. We have a 7-3 ball game at McAfee Coliseum. Chiefs are on top of the Raiders. We're counting down the hours to Christmas Eve, and we're doing it from Oakland on a cool Saturday night, where the Chiefs find themselves leading the Raiders 7-3. Andrew Walter rolling this side and flipping it back to Randall Williams. He's brought down at 35. We talked about how bad Oakland has played this year, and when you take a look at this, it's really no secret why they're 2-12.
Oh, it really, 38 giveaways, 17 fumbles lost, a difference in terms of minus 16.
And by the way, we didn't put up their 21 interceptions, which is also worse than the league.
Yeah, it's
why when we asked Art Shell what's been the problem this year, he says the guys just really haven't played well.
Yeah.
He said, and I shouldn't say the guys said that, he said we haven't played well. He included himself in that. Fargas coming this side, shakes one tackler and appears to have a first down. He broke the tackle of Derek Johnson.
It looked like they were trying to hook block over on this side right here and pull a tackle around the seal and then bounce to the outside, make the linebacker scrape off. You see the big guy switch block right there. Now Fargas inside out. It's Ty Law coming up and making the push outside. That was Derek Johnson normally makes that play.
So the Raiders find themselves with another first down. Fargas enjoying a good night so far on the ground. Good pickup by Fargas, the blitzer. Gives Walter time to complete this one to Ronald Curry. Good job by Fargas picking up the blitzing linebacker.
The running back has to be able to step up and take those backers on like that, and he did an excellent job. You'll see it, 25 right here in the middle of your screen. He, boom, comes back and gets Kawika Mitchell right there. Provides the quarterback the time to make that throw. Here's the blitz coming from the right side. There comes Kawika. Comes back up inside, too late.
Real good block by the former Trojan.
He is a tough guy.
16-yard pickup, and Walter tonight is 4 of 4 for 39 yards. He'll throw again. Comes this side for Crockett, but Crockett is knocked back by Derek Johnson. That one falls incomplete. Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by Under Armour. You see a lot of empty seats here at McAfee Coliseum. We should note that this one is a sellout. They have sold out 6 times, including this one this year. But there are a lot of empty seats here tonight, due in part to the 2-12 record, no doubt, but due in part also to the fact that this is the Saturday before Christmas. There's people traveling. A lot of people, I'm sure, doing last-minute shopping.
Came after
throwing
him
this
again.
One high and falling incomplete. It was intended for Ronald Curry.
Justin Fargas had to step up and take on a blitzer from the I-back position. Again, you'll see him step up inside, but he's deep in the backfield. Now Kawika, number 50, comes in there, and he gets good penetration on the quarterback and forces the high throw. It's hard from the tailback position to get up there quick enough. Coach John Shoup.
And of course, he replaced Tom Walsh as the offensive coordinator several weeks ago. Richard Lee has checked in for Fargas.
The ball's knocked out.
And the ball's loose. Ball's loose. Looks like Rader jumped on it, but Jared Allen comes up with it and takes it back to the 36-yard line. I think that was Tamba Holly that got there first and knocked the ball free.
They had an overload blitz to the tight end side of the formation. They're coming from over here with too many people. It gets in there free. Now you'll see the bang, the ball goes loose. He gets knocked the ball loose. Yeah, there's Jared Allen. Good call. Kawika Mitchell got to him right there.
And frankly, it looked like 66, looked like Langston Walker got there and it just squirted free. And then Jared Allen managed to corral it. We talked about both of Kansas City's young ends being very active. They showed on that play. One knocked it free, the other recovered it, giving the Chiefs their second possession at the Raiders' 38. And Johnson is not going to get much farther than that. Kirk Morrison brings him down. We've got another scrum. This time it's Tommy Kelly engaged with some Raider. Remember, the Chiefs need to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. They have to win tonight, and the Raiders would like nothing more than to burst their balloon for 06. Not that it's much of a balloon at this point. Chris Wilson gets his first reception of the night. Not going out of bounds. He'll be pushed out at the 23. Stuart Schweiger.
Chris Wilson has very good hands. Originally drafted as a tight end and played H-back. Now he's playing the fullback position. And his play action hits him right out in the flat. It freezes the linebacker when you give that play action fake toward that strong side linebacker.
And again, we had a little testiness on the sidelines there. We've seen more tonight than we saw in their previous meeting just a month ago. That game won by the Chiefs 17-13 in Kansas City. Another first down for the offense, and Green will throw. Completing the far side to Sammy Parker. Pushed out inside the 10-yard line. The Chiefs will have a first and goal.
Very good protection. Trent had time to get back in the pocket, set up, keep balance, step forward. Now, notice the pockets. Look at him step up inside, reset, throw a nice shot, a turn in there on Fabian Washington, one-on-one situation. Sammy Parker making the play.
That was John Welborn that bought him some extra time there, holding off Derek Burgess.
Ran him around behind him.
Johnson being pushed back and loses 4 on the play. That was Michael Huff, fine rookie out of Texas coming up making the play.
It looks like Mike Solari's trying to establish the outside running game in the red zone to get it stretched, because they had been running pretty darn well inside. I think he's trying to stretch them to open up some lanes inside.
And Johnson has a touchdown drought. He hasn't scored since that Thanksgiving game we did.
Well, it was against the Ravens and the Chargers after that.
Since the Cleveland game, I apologize.
Yeah.
Cleveland game. It was against the Raiders and Chargers.
Yeah.
They lost 20-10 and 20-9. Green throwing for Eddie Kennison, who had lost his footing in the end zone. That one sails high. Chiefs will be left with 3rd down.
He ran a strong play action, came back to the inside and slipped right there. In fact, it almost looked like he was blocking rather than...
He wasn't. Green with good protection again, throws low again for Kennison, who's having trouble with his footing down on that end. And the Chiefs will be forced to bring on the field goal unit.
Trent gets set up. He gets the nose of the ball down. As soon as the nose of the ball goes down, that's where it's going to end up, right down toward the ground.
And so Tynes is brought on for what will be a 29-yard attempt. Make it 10-3 Chiefs. The Chiefs make good on yet another Raider turnover. This one a fumble by quarterback Andrew Walter. We'll see what he and the Raiders offense can do when we come back. His sack of Andrew Walter gave the Chiefs the ball deep in Raider territory. And Lawrence Tynes ended the drive with a field goal that has the Chiefs up 10-3 with just about a minute left. A little over a minute left in the first period. Lawrence Tynes doing a little work there before he kicks this one away. Walter and the Raiders offense just have had trouble hanging on to the ball. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And
I don't
as
remember.
you well know, you kill yourself with those kind of turnovers.
I don't remember evaluating an offensive team that's turned the ball over like this one has all year.
Chris Carr will touch it again. Short kickoff. He starts it at his own 18. He's got some running room to the far side and runs out of bounds there rather than face the vicious tackle of Lawrence Tynes, no doubt.
Chris Carr has done a good job all year round.
Here's a bit of an early Christmas gift to the Kansas City fans joining us this evening. Christmas Eve through December 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern, NFL Network and Time Warner will bring you a free view of NFL Network in Kansas City. This free view includes first-year coach Ron Prince and his Kansas State Wildcats taking on Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, in the Texas Bowl. Visit iwantnflnetwork.com to find out more. Good year for Rutgers.
You bet.
Terrific year for Rutgers. This is Fargas inside, crossing midfield and getting to the 49.
Kansas City showed a two-deep shell, then going to defense with 7, and prior to the snap brought the safety down, Greg Wesley down, to get into an 8-man front. And boy, it's tough to run against an 8-man front. Little change up by defensive coordinator Gunther Cunningham.
Gunn worked for you, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Real passionate guy. Greg Wesley's been around for a long time.
Everybody in that secondary's been around a long time.
There's Gunther right there with Darvin Wallace.
The Raiders now with 3 tight ends in the ball game. Walter will throw this one to Ronald Curry, and he gets close to the marker.
He was under pressure on that one and got rid of it. That's the advantage of being tall. He gets back and gets set up, and he's going to hang on to the ball for, look at that, wham, and there's Perry right in his, for James Reed right in his face.
Quarterback to quarterback. Curry, a quarterback at North Carolina. Walter, of course, came out of Arizona State.
You think of the receivers they have here that aren't playing. Randy Moss, Jerry Porter. My gosh.
Well, those are 2 of the bigger headaches for Art Shell all year long.
A lot of the salary cap, too.
Yeah, a lot of the salary cap. Porter in particular, what do you get, a $7 million bonus?
Something like that. That sounds like a good number.
Art Shell, a man who's been under considerable heat here in Oakland, had a chance, a real nice visit with him yesterday, and he says he actually feels good about the core and the character of this team. And with a straight face, he told us, he said, we're really close. He says, closer than people on the outside think. We are really close.
And we are on the outside.
We are on the outside. You're right. And with them looking at a 3rd and short, we're going to end the first quarter with Shell and the Raiders on the short end of a 10-3 score. They'll change ends, we'll take a break, and we'll come back and see what the Raider offense can muster and whether they can get that foot for the first down. As we get set to start the second quarter, the Raiders have a 3rd and short, and Zach Crockett is the lone back. He'll get the call and get the first inside the 40-yard line.
They spread the formation out rather than lining up tight with 2 tight ends in a wing. They spread them out a little bit, and that helped them, I think, create a crease inside.
We were talking about Art Shell, and you noted the wideouts. We asked Art yesterday whether Moss and Porter are going to be here next year. He said he don't want to talk personnel until after the season's done. I asked if they've complicated what he's been trying to do. He says, I'm not ready to talk about those kinds of things. I would generally take that as a yes. This is Justin Fargas getting the first down. Kendrell Bell and Ty Law making a stop, but only after Fargas had picked up 11.
The tight end on the right side did a beautiful job of hook blocking right here. You'll see him hook there, right there. And that should not happen. They seal off the defense to the inside, get a good wideout block. Unfortunately, Kendrell Bell came all the way over from the other sideline to make the play. Good range of movement by Kendrell Bell. They're zone blocking with the tight end and tackle out there on that defensive end and linebacker.
Fresh set of downs for the Raiders. Fargas fighting. Gets it past the 25. He's a tough kid.
Yes.
James Reed making a stop on that one. Next Saturday night, the playoffs are going to be on the line. Certainly the Giants hope so, when they travel to Washington to face their rivals, the Redskins. The action is going to kick off next Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. Chris Collinsworth will be alongside for that one. Feels funny to only do 1 game a week after this 2-a-week stuff.
I don't know how you do it.
Rashard Lee has replaced Fargas in the backfield, and Lee will get a carry, and Lee will be thrown for a loss. That's Kendrell Bell.
Another good play by Kendrell. They tried to counter. They loaded the formation with the tight end and wing over to the right side. They loaded it up over here and then came back with a counter this way, trying to get the defense to play strong. Now they come back and counter, but Kendrell Bell stepped up inside and did a very nice job of getting him down, number 99.
Looked like Randall Williams, the tight end, who was supposed to have the block there, got there a bit late.
There was penetration there by Jared Allen, and that hurt him.
He got caught in traffic. And so the Raiders are left with 3rd and long, which is exactly where many of their problems have come from this year. Walter will complete this one to Lee, and Lee gets to the 20 before he is brought down by Jared Page, fine rookie out of UCLA.
Well, the Chiefs brought a blitz with a nickel back, Benny Sapp, coming from the outside. They also had pressure inside on the screen, but you want pressure inside on the screen, but they couldn't get what they needed for the first down, obviously.
And you hear the crowd booing. They'd like to see the Raiders go for it, but the Raiders just frankly haven't scored many offensive touchdowns this year. What have they got, 12 offensive touchdowns all year?
That's right.
12 offensive touchdowns. And so Janikowski has been brought on. He's already made one from 25 tonight. This time he makes one from 37. And he closes the gap to 4. The Raiders moving the ball well, but not able to score any touchdowns. They're losing 10-6 in the second.
The only guy in the Raider organization that would say hello to the visiting head coach when they came in the stadium.
Yeah, he was beloved. Yeah. Well, at his service yesterday, get this, he had 6 Hall of Famers attending. 6 Raider Hall of Famers. Dante Hall will take this in his own 9. He gets his hands on it for the first time tonight and works his way back to the 30-yard line before he's brought down. The Chiefs offense will come back onto the field.
Terry Shea giving the instructions there to Trent Green. Terry Shea, the quarterback coach.
Now let me ask you something. Trent Green, we noted the numbers since he's come back. Of course, he's thrown a touchdown pass tonight, his 6th touchdown pass, but 6 interceptions also. Has he been a different player since the concussion?
I don't think so, but they played 2 outstanding defenses after that Cleveland game in which he threw 4 touchdown passes.
And that impacts the numbers considerably.
Yeah, you bet.
Green will throw on 1st down, and he'll complete this one to his favorite receiver, Tony Gonzalez. Ball's loose, but the Chiefs are on it.
Great job by the defender. I didn't see who it was, but he did a great job of coming up. Coaches coach that
Looks
all
like
the
Robert
time.
Thomas. Go ahead,
And
Coach.
he did a great job of coming up from behind him and knocking that thing out. You'll see it right here to the left side of your screen. That was Robert Thomas, number 55. 1st-round pick of the Rams a few years back, a UCLA graduate, and they like him because he plays all 3 linebacker positions.
Gets the Chiefs 1st down. Green with pressure will throw it out for Larry Johnson. That was a screen that just never materialized.
Oh yeah, but it was there. Boy, Trent just got it low. Didn't get balanced well enough to throw it accurately, but there was a screen all set up out there. It looked like from here, you're going to notice he's going to run a play-action fake. He's going to run a play-action fake, then come off the fake to Johnson. He's going to look back to Larry to the left side of the screen. See, look it out there. There's wide open field to go right around there.
But of course, he had Antaj Hawthorne staring him in the face, so you can understand why he tossed it low. Free play for the Chiefs. Johnson works his way past midfield to the 49, where he's brought down.
I think Trent gave him a hard count, and that jump made him jump offside. Trent is good at that, at changing his voice inflection every once in a while. He alerts the team in the huddle, alert hard count, and
offside.
I think he got him.
Number 94, defense, 5-yard penalty remains, 2nd down.
That was
Boy,
Kevin
that's hard
Huntley.
to do. You'll see Kevin Huntley on the top of middle of your screen there. Outside number 65, Jordan Black. See, you could hear even the sound. Come over, at least I could hear it in my headset. Oh, he jumped offside one too soon. It's coming out.
Chiefs with 2 tight ends in the ballgame. Jason Dunn is checked in opposite Gonzalez. Johnson will run for it on 2nd and 5. Seemed to have been cornered, but working his way back across the field. He's got some running room past the 40. Johnson pushed out at the 32-yard line after seemingly a loss of, was about to be tackled for a loss of 4. Instead, he gets a considerable pickup.
They were trying to run a stretch play over in this direction. Got bottled up. Good defense. Good get, kept it going parallel, kept it going, forced him to come backside. Now you'll see from the right side, you'll see Trent Green get a block right there. Larry does a good job of making a miss. This is what he can do. He can change direction.
That was 55, Robert Thomas, who really should have stacked him up right there, had a clean shot at him, and just let him go.
He ran his own reverse. Empty backfield.
Hall goes in motion to the top of your screen. Green eyeballs him, chooses not to go there. Throws on the far side. D. Brown making the reception. Over the outstretched arms of Thomas Howard. We've got another flag on the play.
Pass interference, 22 offense. 10-yard penalty remains, 1st down.
Well, there's a reason why D. Brown managed to get as open as he did, it seems. They say the 4-year man out of Syracuse was a little overactive with his hands.
He's filling in as the backup running back for Michael Bennett, who's not playing tonight. D. Brown's a good all-around football player. He does a great job on special teams. He's got 18 special teams tackles, number 2 on the team. He has good hands, as he demonstrated there. He just used poor judgment in pushing off.
That's Chiefs' first penalty of the night. Pushes them back, leaves them looking at 1st and 20 from their 41-yard line of the Raiders.
They got a different right offensive tackle in there right now. Chris Terry's in for John Wellborn. That could be a problem.
D. Brown stays in. Green throwing for Hall.
It was a
as
great
he rolls
catch.
out of bounds. They're going to say he juggled as he went out.
I think he was out of bounds, but that was a heck of a catch.
Hall's one of those. Well, let's take this replay first, Coach. Go ahead.
Dante Hall up in press coverage there with Fabian Washington. Rolls to the outside there. Not real big. Yeah.
Hall is one of these guys you were telling me you got to stay on him, give him a lot of positive reinforcement.
Yeah, you know, he always operates better when his confidence level is really high.
Second and long for the Chiefs. This is Brown looking for running room, not finding a lot, but getting back to the 35-yard line. Don't forget, NFL Network re-airs the best games from the weekend, adding coach and player commentary. They do so on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 2 games per night, only on NFL Network.
I don't know what's wrong with John Welborn, the offensive starting right tackle, but right now, Chris Terry, 7-year free agent, just joined the football team this year, is in at right tackle on Derek Burgess.
First, third and long for the Chiefs. Green with some time, throwing for the end zone and overthrowing Eddie Kinnison. Good coverage there by Fabian Washington, who was with him step for step.
Yeah, Fabian, both of those guys were outstanding track people in college, Eddie Kinnison and Fabian Washington, and they both showed equal speed right there. Neither could separate. Good coverage all the way.
Washington playing in Charles Woodson's old spot. We saw Woodson 2 nights ago in Green Bay.
That actually could be called pass interference because he's got an arm bar in there. Many times we all have seen that call.
And the Chiefs again disdaining the field goal attempt and going for it on 4th down. Johnson not in the ball game. D. Brown is. Green will throw to the same side. Yep. And it looked like he and Eddie Kinnison had the different ideas, shall we say.
Eddie fell down again, too. I wonder if they're obviously having some cleat problem out there in that turf.
We'll have to take a break right here. 8:37 to play in the first half. Chiefs leading 10-6. 8:37 to play in the first half. The Raiders have taken over on downs, trailing the Kansas City Chiefs 10-6 on the Saturday before Christmas. Not a lot of great cheer being extended here. Red helmeted
You think
Kansas
that guy
City
believes
visitors.
in Santa Claus, huh?
Perhaps his own kind. Raiders like a family here, kind of like the Adams family, but they're a family. Walter will throw, and it's almost picked. That was Sammy Knight jumping the route.
He read that all the way. And he has taken the ball away so many times in his career. He has 38 pass interceptions in his career. He just missed 39.
That was intended for Randall Williams, but it never had a chance of getting there.
Very, very smart football player. He really added a lot of leadership to the defense last year when we brought him in there.
Walter's just had problems across the board this year. He's thrown for 3 touchdowns, but 11 interceptions. And as we told you, he's been sacked 42 times. He's already coughed it up tonight on one of those sacks. Completes this one to Courtney Anderson.
Courtney Anderson on the reception from Andrew Walter.
I'll tell you, the Raiders don't scrimp on size on their tight ends, do they? Anderson,
no,
6'6", 270.
Yeah, and Randall Williams is 6'3", 235, but Courtney Anderson, he is a giant. They like those tall guys. All their offensive linemen are tall, too.
Well,
those
don't
big
the Raiders
tackles
kind
are
of
6'7".
have a mold? And
They do. They sort of have a chart they want them to fit in.
Is that part of the problem?
No, not as long as they can play.
Well, I just mean making the mold,
Yeah.
and maybe they don't fit.
Ignoring talent?
Yeah.
Looks like they're coming after him.
Walter will throw on 3rd down. Zach Crockett is not going to get there. Coming up to make the hit, Sammy Knight. Good series for Sammy. And the Boo Birds are out again.
You'll see the pressure coming right over on this side, and he throws the ball quickly, gets rid of it without getting the sack. Here comes Kawika Mitchell inside number 50, and he had to throw it fast. Couldn't get the ball there, and of course, Sammy Knight's in position to make the play.
You know it's a problem when your punter is one of the bright spots of your team, and Shane Leckler is that. This guy can flat out boom it.
Well, he's never allowed a touchdown return. Now, this isn't a great punt.
Dante Hall waving everybody away. And this one will bounce out of bounds at the 23-yard line. The Chiefs offense will come back on the field. Trent Green, troops leading 10-6. Cal on their helmet. Of course, their late owner, Lamar Hunt, and your dear friend.
Oh, yes, I was there for the services on Tuesday. And the whole city, the organization, the team and everything, they're all a little bit down. They love that guy, and rightfully so.
1st and 10 for the Chiefs from their own 25. This will be too far out of the reach of Larry Johnson. Lamar's sons were down on the field before the game. That's Clark on the right, who runs the ball club now, basically.
Now, he'll take over. Yes, he'll take over. And he's been working his way in there over the last few years. That's Daniel on the left side. And he's worked in the soccer leagues in that for his dad. They're two outstanding young men. There's Herman. Herman's done a great job. He really has. Of course, not hard to improve what I was doing, but he's done a super job.
I don't know about that. This has been a homecoming for Herm. He got a chance to spend some time with his mom, Martha, down in Seaside yesterday, and he gets to spend Christmas with her. Pitch goes to Larry Johnson. Stutter steps out of the way of Warren Sapp, but brought down at the 20. Thomas Howard getting there. Nice move he put on Warren.
Yeah, the penetration, they're knocking it back. They can't get moving toward the line of scrimmage with a toss play to the weak side. You'll see it to the left side of your screen. Larry's trying to find a place to turn up, and there all he sees is black jerseys and Sapp coming up from the inside.
I'm sorry, that was Turdell Sands. My bad.
Yeah. Is that Sands?
Yeah. I thought it was 99. It was 90.
You're allowed one.
Trying to get it down to one.
Turdell Sands. I had him as a rookie on the practice squad for a couple of years at Kansas City. He's a giant.
3rd and 15. Green has only completed 1 of his past 8. He's got a screen set up to D. Brown, but Brown's not going very far. Nnamdi Asomugha.
This defensive team is
making the stop. Go ahead, Dick.
It's impressive. When you study the Raider defensive team, when all the things the offense has done to hurt the defense, yet for them to continue to play well is a real tribute to Rob Ryan and those defensive coaches.
Well, what's the number of how many short fields the defense has had to fight against?
It's unbelievable. I think it's like 36 times the opponents have taken the ball on the Raiders side of the 50-yard line.
That makes it hard on a defense.
Oh, it's a short field.
So we'll see Dustin Colquitt kicking this one away, or hoping to, from his own 10.
Nice
chases
punt.
Chris Carr back. Good punt by Colquitt. Carr decides to let it go, and it takes a Chiefs bounce.
Wow, that was a great punt.
Down to the 3-yard line. And so Andrew Walter and the Raiders will come back deep in their own end, trailing 10-6. Nice whistle, Dick. Coming up next, the Wendy's halftime show. Join Rich Eisen, Steve Mariucci, Deion Sanders, and Marshall Falk. They'll have first half highlights and analysis, and a look ahead to tomorrow's games. Inside the McAfee Coliseum in Oakland, following a career-long 72-yard punt by Dustin Colquitt, the Raiders are backed up on their own 3-yard line. Given their propensity to turn over, they don't figure to take many chances here. And they don't with the first carry, Justin Fargas. To the 5, trying to get him some operating room before Jared Allen brings him down.
They're running right up behind Robert Gallery. He's playing his first game in 6 weeks at the offensive left tackle spot, number 76, 83. Courtney Anderson coming off to the outside. Jared did a good job of pushing it back inside to his defense, but Robert Gallery, they missed this son of a gun, but in missing him, Chaz Slaughter came on and did some good things playing in his backup role.
Can we also officially declare Gallery somewhat of a disappointment, considering he was a number 2 pick?
Since, number 2 pick in the draft overall, you bet.
Fargas being stopped as he crosses the line of scrimmage, gets the Raiders out to the 7.
And his defense, though, he's had a number of offensive line coaches teaching him something a little bit different every year.
Well, I understand that, Dick, but again, when you're the second guy overall in the draft, at that point, you should be a little farther along than Robert Gallery is, no?
Yeah, you would think so.
And there's a man who knows something about tackle play.
You bet.
I mean, he can have all the offensive, he can have all the line coaches he wants. He's got his head coach as a Hall of Famer.
He can't play for him, though.
Let's see how much Art Shell trusts Andrew Walter right here. Trusts him to throw it over the middle and get the first down. Completing that one to Ronald Curry.
Walter is no different than any other quarterback. When you let him get back, set his feet, keep people away from him, they'll throw the ball most of the time accurately. And because he's a big, tall guy, he has good vision, he has a good, strong arm, but he's not a good buying the second chance type guy, and that's why he gets.
And he's a guy who's known some success. I mean, he rewrote the Pac-10 record book in terms of touchdown throws, threw for 85 touchdowns while he was at Arizona State. He'll throw on first down. Pump fakes to this side, and then dumps it off to Fargas. And Mr. Fargas meet Mr. Bell.
Kendrell Bell is playing well tonight. He's playing better this year all year than he did last year. Last year he played sort of nursing a bad shoulder. This guy was an impact player at Pittsburgh, made the Pro Bowl one year. And but that shoulder bothered him. This year he's playing much better and demonstrating that tonight, doing a nice job.
That's one of those where Fargas was the safety valve, and actually after he took the hit probably thought that was a bad idea on
bad idea
Walter's
to check
part.
it down there.
Crockett is the up back. He blocks out, Fargas gets it, and he's caught in the arms of Sammy Knight.
Good Phil. He was coming up there. They were running a zone blitz, bringing people to that side of the run that time and backing the defensive end up. You'll see right here, this defensive end is backing off, going to play zone, and they're bringing pressure on this side right into the run. Here they come. Sammy does a nice job of filling it. He doesn't miss many tackles when he's going downhill.
Now, is that the inexperience of Walter not seeing that when they backed off?
You don't even know if they had a check-off system or if it showed early enough to check off.
Okay. It leaves the Raiders and Walter with 3rd and 6. That's for Shard Lee, who's checked into the backfield behind him. And Walter will call the Raiders' 2nd timeout of this half, just in advance of the 2-minute warning. As we noted, the Kansas City Chiefs have very slim playoff hopes, but at least they are still in the playoff picture, and in that they have an edge on the Raiders.
No question.
The Chiefs come into here at 7 and 7, and the scenario of them making it is fairly complex. Suffice it to say, they would have to win out and get an awful lot of help.
Need a lot of help, but you know, it has happened before. Maybe not as drastic or the amount of help that the Chiefs need, but you've got to play, like the kids said even in the introduction. You got to make the playoff.
You take a look at that, the Broncos would actually be helped the most by the Chiefs losing, because if it were simply the Broncos and the Chiefs getting the bid, the Chiefs hold the tiebreaker over the Broncos. Let's see what the Raiders came up with during the timeout. Walter throws and completes. This one to Curry again. It is Ronald Curry. Gets us to the 2-minute warning, keeps the Raider drive alive. They're marching, but they're trailing 10-6.
7 in stores now.
Coming out of the 2-minute warning, Walter and the Raiders are still huddled. Walter has actually enjoyed a pretty fine evening so far. Not a lot of yardage, but he's protected the ball. Completed 11 of 14.
Yes, he has. Had it knocked out in the 1 sack and got the ball knocked out and a turnover. But other than that, he's shown real poise. He really has.
He's getting the start tonight because Aaron Brooks has a bit of a stinger. Of course, they've basically shared duty all year long. We had a nice conversation with Brooks yesterday, didn't we?
I was impressed with him.
So
he
was
wasn't pointing the finger at anybody.
No.
He was defending his coach, defending his teammates.
He was terrific. He really was.
And maybe a little upset with a few guys.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. We asked him what happens when you call out guys for not trying.
Yeah.
And he gave us that blank stare, which said, you know what, some guys here just don't get it. First down for Walter and the Raiders. Walter throws this one a little bit behind Courtney Anderson. Derek Johnson on the coverage. We noted that the Raiders have had trouble scoring touchdowns this year. We can put trouble with a capital T. Look at that, will you?
The Raider team, 12 touchdowns. Look at everybody else.
Look at the individuals that they trail.
31. Look at Larry's 15. You know you're in trouble. I've never seen an offensive team with numbers like that.
Unfortunately, neither is Art Shell.
Nor Al Davis.
The Raiders trying to operate quickly, completing this side to Ronald Curry. He'll stop out of bounds. As you would expect of a team that has only scored 12 touchdowns all year long, take a look at this number. 70 offensive plays
70 offensive stats
per touchdown. Now, to give you an idea, let's put that in some perspective. The NFL average is 30.
Right, and San Diego Chargers was 1 every 17.
Yeah, they've done 70. 1 touchdown every 70 plays. You can't win like that.
No.
You can't even be competitive like that. Walter trying to keep the drive alive. Completes again to Curry. He likes Curry tonight. Curry getting it back close to midfield. before going out of bounds?
Well, he comes into the game their leading receiver, you know, and he's been stepping up and growing. As you said, a converted quarterback out of college, a smooth, gifted athlete, played on the basketball team as well at North Carolina. So he's a gifted athlete.
Mark Loomis, our producer, just pointed out they're halfway towards their 70 for the touchdown. They've got 33 offensive plays. Of course, it remains to be seen if they can put up the 6. Walter will throw again, losing his footing and losing the ball. It's free, and Jared Allen makes the recovery. His second fumble recovery of the night. It was Allen who knocked it loose and seemed to come up with it. Jared Allen is very good at knocking the ball loose. He's done it a number of times this year and in the past. And this has been Walter's problem all year long. He's just been too casual with the football. He's got it up there in his right hand now. See, now he slipped too, and that hurt him. That hurt him. He was regaining his balance and then cocking to throw. Seeing that arm goes out there to gain balance, and here comes Jared Allen. He's such a persistent guy. Jared Allen will never quit. He beats Gallery inside on a nice little move. That's his 6th fumble recovery of the year. He's got 2 tonight. Jared Allen with a big night has put the Chiefs in business at the 37-yard line of the Raiders. 1.5 minutes to play in the half. This is Johnson with some running room, crossing the 25 and fighting his way to the 20-yard line. The clock continues to tick. They used a little pump draw. The quarterback, Trent Green, stepped up, faked the pass, then handed off. What that does is distract the linebacker who's looking past and allows also blockers to climb on him at that time. And there's what we talked about earlier, giving the offense a short field. Raiders have had to operate all year long. That's Sammy Parker catching this one to the 12-yard line. Throwing it over there on Asamoah. The Chiefs in no big hurry. They still have 2 timeouts. Green will throw wide. Gonzalez. Nnamdi Asamoah pushing him out on the far side. They're throwing a lot over there for a guy that's picked off the ball 7 times this year. You know? Well, 7 times this year, but none until this year. I know it. He's really come on strong. Trent is back in rhythm right now. You notice that? And again, we call your attention to the possibility of a big touchdown for Tony Gonzalez. Should he catch one, he will tie Shannon Sharp for touchdown receptions all time by a tight end in the National Football League. Green for Hall to the 1-yard line. And they are picking on Asamoah. Over on that side. Gonzalez went back to the corner. You'll see 88 going to the back of the corner, and they hit Dante up there in the flat. We're inside 45 seconds to go in the half. And Larry Johnson is checked back in as the Chiefs go into tight formation. Chris Wilson is the up back. Wilson goes one way, Johnson the other. Touchdown Chiefs. Larry Johnson gets his 14th rushing touchdown. Following Will Shields and Jason Dunn up into the hole. The up back, Chris Wilson, went to the right, Johnson to the left, and he walked in. Will following the right guy, and Will Shields. This is his 223rd game, all in Kansas City. Consecutive. All in Kansas City. And Lawrence Tynes will try to boost it to a 10-point lead. And he does. With 40 seconds to play in the first half, the Chiefs have opened this one up 17-6, capitalizing on a couple of Raider turnovers. The first one led to a field goal by Lawrence Tynes, and this one Jared Allen knocks free and comes up with yet again, and the Chiefs waste little time marching down the field. Larry Johnson completing the drive, taking it in from 1 yard out, giving the Chiefs a 17-6 lead. Gonzalez too got a good block inside. Yes, he does. Tony's a good blocker. He's given so much credit as a wide, as a good receiver, but he's done a great job in blocking. And if you're going to score on the ground and be a Kansas City Chiefs, you have to be Larry Johnson. That's the 30th consecutive rushing touchdown for the Chiefs by a guy named Larry Johnson. He's a workhorse. Of course, he caused a bit of trouble this week too. by saying he was basically tired of this stuff, tired of what the Chiefs were running, said things had to change.
Well,
caused a bit of a stir, and Herm didn't like it.
You have to know Larry. You have to know him to understand him, you know, and I don't think most of the time does he really mean anything negative about it, but he gets frustrated. And then when he's frustrated, sometimes he says things he'd like to take back.
Chris Carr takes this one on one hop. He comes back to the 40-yard line. Here's actually the quote. Let's listen in to what Johnson had to say last week after the loss to San Diego.
Everybody's saying, oh, it's fine, it's okay. I don't know who in their mind thinks this is okay, because none of this is okay.
I don't want to hear the videotape. I'll talk to Larry. That's good enough. That's all I need to do. You guys are trying to make, well, here. Okay, well, I'm just saying, he's fine, we're fine, everybody's fine.
And True or not, it was perceived that Larry threw Herm and his offense under the bus.
Well, I don't know that. I know I was there for 2 days, and it was a dead issue. It was not even mentioned.
Moving to 30 seconds left in the first half. Walter throwing for Curry, throwing incomplete. I had a chance to talk with Herm yesterday, and I pointedly asked him about it, and Herm said, look, he's a young guy. He was frustrated because in a marquee matchup with LaDainian Tomlinson, he had been outgained 199-84. And Herm said, I talked to him, I said, look, you just got to watch what you say because guys are waiting for it. You got to watch it. Rashard Lee in there in the backfield blocking for Walter. Walter completing for the first time to Johnny Morant. Morant with his second catch of the night. You see the flags falling as
Beautiful
Morant
throw.
gets to the 25-yard line.
He hit him in the crease between a rolled-up corner and a safety and threw it just, again, he had time to throw the football. There was nobody around him. He had time. When he gets time, he can throw it pretty well.
Let's see what the call is.
21 seconds.
Illegal touching. Number 89 of the receiving team. He was legally chucked out of bounds. Was first to touch it inbounds.
Okay.
Makes an illegal
He
touch.
can't come
5-yard
back in.
penalty, repeat. Third down.
You see at the bottom of your screen, he's coming off to the outside. Obviously right there, he stepped out of bounds and then came back in. Thought he, you know, sometimes you're forced out a little bit that time, but he went more on his own.
And not to correct Pete Morelli, he called it 89. 89 is Ronald Curry. It was not Curry. It was Morant.
Was Morant, number 19.
That's right, 19.
Talk about hurting yourself.
Well, that's been the Raiders all year long. It's not just the penalties. It's not just the turnovers. It's also the penalties. And they've done a good job cutting back on their penalties.
Yeah,
but it seems like every one they've had has really been a crusher.
Okay, we got a challenge from upstairs.
Well, we heard the official step in and said, hang on.
Got a challenge. That comes from the press box.
Inside 2 minutes, all the reviews are called by the press box. And so Pete Morelli will march back and go under the hood once again. At stake here is a 37-yard gain. We'll see if we can get another look at it here.
He's up there in Patrick Surtain. Yeah, oh, he's out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds.
That one's pretty clear.
Yep.
That one's pretty clear.
Yep.
Easy to call. Not to belabor the point, but I just want to put a period on this Larry Johnson, Herm Edwards thing. Larry is a guy who had some tempestuous moments with you.
Oh, yeah.
When you were
Sure.
in Kansas City. We all remember Diaper Game.
Yeah, that was my fault. That was a bad choice of words by me.
And he's a sensitive kid.
Yeah.
He's a kid who speaks a lot. Oftentimes his mouth outraces his head. Yeah. And basically that's what Herm told him. Herm said, hey, you know what? We understand your frustration, but you got to watch what you say. You're now a professional. Things are taken a lot of ways. You got to watch it. Try to look at the big picture.
And you're a star.
And you're a star.
But I think a lot of it, he is such an intense competitor. That
In replay, you cannot review a foul. The player did step out of bounds. The ruling on the field stands.
Yeah.
So I guess there was some discussion that the reason he was out was because of an illegal chuck. He says you can't review a foul. I don't quite understand that, frankly, but I'm not sure why they called him back under the hood, but in any event, 37-yard gain is negated. We have 21 seconds left in a first half that saw the Raiders score the first points, but has seen the Chiefs march out to a 17-6 lead. The give this time to Rashard Lee. He finds some running room, gets it to the 48. The Raiders still have a timeout in the bank. But so far, yes, they are going to call it. Thought for a moment following the run that they were just going to try to get it in at halftime. Speaking of which, coming up next, the Wendy's halftime show. Rich Eisen, Steve Mariucci, Deion Sanders, Marshall Faulk. They're going to have first half highlights and analysis, and they'll look ahead to tomorrow, which has a couple of big games on tap. The Giants, for one, have a big one. They're going to be playing the New Orleans Saints. The Cowboys are going to be getting together with the Eagles in another big game, and the Bengals are in Denver for what amounts to a big game for both those clubs. I'm guessing the Bengals managed to get into snowy Denver, right? Didn't Denver open up? Denver finally got opened. So we have 10 seconds left in the opening half. Raiders now out of timeouts, looking at 3rd and 3. Walter throwing to Will Buchanan, fighting to get out of bounds and stop the clock, and he does at the 44-yard line with just 4 seconds left.
Very loose zone prevent defense. You're going to be able to hit those kind of passes.
And Janikowski has a cannon for a leg, but his career long is 55. His season long is 51, and right now he'd be looking at something in the neighborhood of 60 yards, 61 yards perhaps. So he'll stay on the sidelines, and we'll see what the final play of the half will be. Andrew Walter will toss this one into the end zone. Hail Mary. Nothing but white jersey Chiefs down there. Jared Page is going to run it out.
That's a rookie running that out of there.
This isn't a great idea.
No. I didn't see any black jersey down there.
No, that's what the fans are saying. You can hear them saying the same thing, only they're translating it to boo. And with that, we'll go to the half with the Chiefs out in front, 17-6. Rich Eisen and the guys are coming along with the Wendy's halftime show. Chiefs leading the Raiders 17-6. And then Jared Allen forcing the fumble here with his second fumble recovery paves the way. Larry Johnson taking it in. The Chiefs wind up leading the first half 7-6. We came into this ball game talking about the Raiders' woeful offense, their problem with turnovers, and we're seeing evidence of both tonight.
Yeah, both. They actually have the numbers offensively, but those two turnovers really have killed them. They produced the Chiefs produced 10 points off those 2 turnovers. In the last interception, I don't count. That's
yeah, you don't count that
ball game like that.
And for the Raiders, speaking of numbers, there's bad news and there's worse news. The bad news is they're trailing at halftime, and they've lost 11 straight when trailing at halftime. The worst news is all year long in the second half, they've only scored 42 points.
There's always time to turn that around. There's always time to turn that around. You know, and they're playing halfway decent football, I think, in terms of moving the ball and those kinds of things, but they've hurt themselves with those turnovers.
And as we get set to start the second half, we get an opportunity to tell you again that this game is being presented to you in HD. I totally don't know what that is, but I want it. They're out in front, and Janikowski will kick it away. Art Shell looking for some offense. Just 42 points in the second half. How bad is that, Dick?
I don't have anything to compare it with.
Man. Dante Hall. Slipping it. Before the Chiefs brought on the field. Larry Johnson will come back out along with Trent Green, and actually the Raiders have done a good job on Johnson tonight, don't you think?
They've kept him running toward the sideline. You know, even when he bounced inside, they were trying to push him to the sideline. The good run that he had was when he started to the left, got outside, and then ran his own reverse. Came all the way back and made a good run.
His opposite number, Fargas, actually has 20 more yards on the ground. That's a career high for Justin Fargas.
He gets stronger, though, as the game goes. Larry does.
And the numbers say Fargas does not. Good point. Johnson spinning out of one tackle and crossing to about the 33-yard line. Stuart Schweiger coming up to stop it.
See, he is so strong. He has great balance. He can make the dramatic cuts that a smaller back can make. But here he is at 230 pounds and 4.38 speed. But you know, the other thing about Larry that I've always appreciated, he runs angry. He really can get himself in an angry frame of mind.
Herman Edwards would second that, I'm sure, this week. Johnson trying for the first down, but Warren Sapp was there. It looked like Michael Huff came up and got a piece of it too.
Warren Sapp is a big guy, though. He's playing, they say, at about 310 pounds. He's played heavier than that. Here he is on the number 90 and working there with number 76 there, John Welborn. No place to go.
That Huff's going to be a good player, isn't he, Dick?
Yes, he is.
He's their #1 draft pick out of Texas, 7th player taken. Larry Johnson skipping this one outside, crossing the 40, and being bulled out at the 45-yard line. We've got our first flag of the second half. There's a bunch of Raiders who are pointing the other way.
Real
holding.
Good.
Number 89, offense, 10-yard penalty remains. Third down.
That's Jason Dunn, who is listed as the second tight end.
Yeah, he's a big, strong, physical blocker. See, he gets that arm right there. His left arm has got him by the shoulder pad up on top. And Larry running with great patience at that time. Rather than flying up in there blindly, he gets up in there and then again bounces to the outside.
Is that something he's learned, Dick, or did he come in a patient runner when you got him?
I think he learned to run more patiently. And actually watching Priest Holmes, and then he has a lot of those natural things himself, but I think he learned some from Priest Holmes and understanding blocking schemes as well.
Left the Chiefs with 3rd and 11 from their own 24, and D. Brown is in the backfield now, along with Johnson. Green with pressure from his backside, dropped for a loss. Kevin Huntley got there.
Kevin Huntley came around from his backside. Trent didn't see him. He was sliding to the pocket, working up inside, and he came around behind him. Right there, he beat Jordan Black. Jordan Black playing left tackle and playing there pretty well. Actually, I felt in studying the tapes, he's maybe one of the most improved offensive players on their team.
And when last we saw Dustin Colquitt, he got off a career-best 72-yard punt.
That was a good series for the Raider defense.
Their defense hadn't been their problem.
No.
Chris Griffin would appear to be the guilty party there. 53.
Defense.
Nope.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 40 jumped into the neutral zone, causing the offense a false start. 5-yard penalty remains. Fourth down.
For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, right?
Jared Cooper is a great special teams player.
Still not enough to help the Chiefs get the first down. Colquitt just moves 5 yards closer to Chris Carr, who is stationed at his home 35. Colquitt booms another one. Carr inside his own 20. Gets it back, crosses the 25-yard line, but not by much. A 56-yard punt, 7-yard return. And this was the end of the Chiefs drive. We'll see what the Raiders can do when we come back.
Great taste, there's no debate. Miller Lite, good call. GMC, engineered to the highest standard, professional grade.
We had a late flag while you were away. Bernard Pollard was flagged for personal foul. And so the Raiders will start this drive from their own 41. Pollard left to wonder exactly what he did wrong.
Yeah, you know, they have great expectations of this guy, a second-round pick out of Purdue, and they think he's going to be a real fine football player.
Fargas with his first carry of the second half squeezes through there and crosses midfield before dragged down from behind by Greg Wesley. Fargas with already a career night.
A very good
Picks
lead
up
block
about 15.
by, very good lead block by Zach Crockett. Just is this an old downhill gut type play? You'll see the fullback right here go lead through on the linebacker. Does a good job. Wham! This real nice little crease right there. Kawika Mitchell came in from behind but didn't get him wrapped up. See right there, he runs out of those arms. Like I said earlier, this guy is tough.
And I picked on Gallery earlier. That time he got a great block. 14-yard gain for Fargus. Swings this one to Courtney Anderson, and Anderson gets very close to the first down marker, the 35-yard line.
Now they come with that same running action, running a downhill lead play to the left. They come off with the naked now. Shields from an offensive standpoint going to the left. We're looking at it to the right. Gets a flow of the defense, runs a keeper, just drops it out there to Anderson. Here comes Derek Johnson, who has great speed, moving from the inside out to make the play.
Well, it was Johnson they sucked inside at first. It'll be a 2nd and short. Fargus gets the pitch, turned back in by Kendrell Bell. Now he's got a world of problems, but it would seem he has the first down.
Very good reaction by Kendrell Bell. He was not fooled with the fullback diving up inside and then moving away. So he started one way and flipped it out. I've seen that play break many times for great big gains, and Kendrell Bell was not fooled.
Jared Allen with the tackle there. Jared's having a great night so far. He's forced 2 fumbles.
He normally
forced
does.
a fumble, recovered 2.
He just loves to play football, this guy. He's from Los Gatos up here on the peninsula.
The Raiders with a good opening drive of the second half. This is Rashard Lee giving Fargus a break and losing 3. Derek Johnson appeared to be the first guy to get there.
So they showed a 2-deep shell, and then right at the last rolled the safety right up into the run. They ended up with an 8-man front, and they had one more man over there than they could block. It was a good adjustment by the defense.
Now I ask again, is that something that a more experienced quarterback would have checked out of?
No, that was too late. Yeah. They're disguising that 8-man front real well.
A loss of 4 on the play. Lee remains in the ball game while Fargus gets a rest. And it'll be Lee catching this one. And he's got 3 tacklers looking at him. Derek Johnson there among those on the stop. Don't forget, next Saturday night, the playoffs are on the line when the New York Giants travel to face the Washington Redskins in the nation's capital. The action kicks off next Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. The Redskins don't have a lot to play for, but the Giants figure to have an awful lot to play for by that time. They're a team that has really been struggling. And so Walter would expect to have to throw here, and that's been an adventure here in the Bay Area this year. He gets pressure and gets it away. Was trying for Randall Williams, but Kawika Mitchell.
Kawika came around to the inside on a stunt.
And Janikowski is trotting on the field for what would have to be a 52-yard field goal.
He's done it before. He's, like you said earlier.
Actually, it's going to spot at the 53.
There's no wind.
His season long is 51. His career long is 55. This one's got enough. It's good. Janikowski with a season-long 53-yard field goal, his 3rd score of the night. Raiders can't seem to get many touchdowns. They do have 3 field goals. They trail 17-9. Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by Under Armour. You're looking from on high at McAfee Coliseum in Oakland, California on the Saturday before Christmas, where the Raiders have just gotten a 3rd field goal from Sebastian Janikowski to cut Kansas City Chiefs lead to 8. It's 17-9. And this is Dante Hall with some running room, looking for a block. Gets by Janikowski. No, he doesn't. Janikowski pushes him out.
He likes that.
As he just crosses midfield, the Chiefs will again be operating with a short field. We'll see what Trent Green and they can muster when we come back. Back in Oakland on what's become a very chilly night here. Temperature perhaps dropping below 50 here in the Coliseum. Now McAfee Coliseum. We used to call it the Mausoleum when we used to come up here to watch the Oakland A's play.
I'd call it worse than that.
The Chiefs operating with a short field. Green will complete to Tony Gonzalez and get it down to the 32-yard line. And as he always does in our telecast. Marshall Faulk has kindly joined us. He's down along the sidelines, your former star, Dick. Marshall, good evening.
How's it going, guys?
I'm all right. Marshall, one of the things we've been talking about tonight is the difficulty of guys getting motivated when you're in a place like the Raiders are, where you're 2-12 and playing for nothing, and it's the holidays and you're going nowhere. How do you get jacked up?
You know what? The thing is, for your leadership, it's up to them. Your leaders got to step up and have your guys kind of let the young guys know that there's something to play for. And then there's 31 other teams out there. You're interviewing for everybody.
Do you have some guys really who just have kind of mentally checked out at this point?
You know, especially young guys. Young guys are really tested. When you're winning, it's tough to keep focus. When you're losing, it's really tough to keep focus.
We spoke to Art Shell yesterday about exercising his kind of discipline. And I asked him whether the athletes had changed. He said you're always going to have guys who push back. Do you find on today's rosters there are a lot of young guys who just don't react well to the old school discipline?
You know, not just young guys, but older guys that have been coached different. And I think that in today's league, what Art Shell found out was that you got to have players on your team that you lean on, that go to the players and try to get them to relate to you, to help you out. You need good leaders on your team.
And Dick, who was it Art Shell pointed out yesterday when we asked him who his leaders are? He pointed to that guy right there, Derek Burgess, as one of his leaders.
Yeah, Zach Crockett as well.
Zach Crockett too.
You know, and that's the guys you got to lean on to get the rest of the guys and corral them and rally the troops.
Because you are getting paid, and you're getting the same amount whether you win or lose and put forth the effort or not.
Definitely, and you know, it's not always about getting paid. That's understood, you get paid, but it's about passion and playing, because when you're out here and there's a hard-fought game, you know, you want to continue to play well. And you have guys like Warren Sapp. It doesn't matter about the money, it's all about pride and winning football games.
Sapp just demonstrated that as well. You see, Trent got back good depth. It was a play designed to throw in rhythm. It was covered downfield. He had to get out of the pocket. When he tried to get out of the pocket and move forward, Sapp came off his block, and he hog-tied him and brought him down. There's a guy playing with some pride.
Loss of 2 on the play. Hang on one sec, Marshall. We'll ask you one more and then let you get out of here.
Oh!
Coming through was Robert Thomas from his inside backer position.
He
just greeted Johnson in the hole.
You'll see Robert Thomas right in the middle of your screen here. He reads it right now. They're going to try to fake the pass and then run the draw. Trent will pump. Here it comes. He sees it right now. There's no one to pick him up. Wham! Down he goes.
Marshall, one more quick thing. When the two teams have played so differently, the defensive club has played well and the offensive club has played poorly. You would imagine there's some disagreement on the club. I'll talk to you about that in just a little bit. Let's get this 3rd and 15 first. Green getting out of trouble. Lofting this one into the arms and out of the arms of Fabian Washington. The Chiefs will turn it over on downs.
The Raiders brought the blitz. They haven't been a big blitzing team. You'll see number 24 coming in right there. Michael Huff coming in. Trent gets out of there, and he's trying to heave it as deep as he can, falling back. It isn't going to go as far as he'd like it to go. Darn near picked off by Fabian Washington.
And so Lawrence Tynes will come on and attempt a 45-yard field goal.
He's 7 for 9 from this distance this year.
This one's going to sail wide right. And so the Chiefs come up empty on that drive, and the Raider fans are into it. Their team is down by 8, but they're getting the ball when we come back. It's live of all the games. Log on to NFL.com and hear all the action. Following a 45-yard field goal attempt that sailed right, Lawrence Tynes missing. The Raiders get a chance to come out and see what they can do. They'll start this drive at their own 35-yard line.
Starting now with 3 wide receivers right off the bat.
Fargas getting back to the 40, a pickup of 5. Marshall Faulk continues with us sidelines. Marshall, one of the things we've talked about all night is how well the Raiders' defense has played, but their offense has been so woeful. When you've got 2 units like that, how tough is it to keep everybody on the same page and not have backbiting in the locker room?
You know, Brian, you asked that question, and I've actually been a part of that. But on the other side of the ball, on defense, on offense, after Dick Vermeer retired and we lost John Bunting, our defense kind of went in the tank on us. And offensively, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Hood, and myself, one of the things we prided ourselves on was going out there and winning football games, regardless, even if it was at the sake of our defense playing bad. And I think right now, and in some games, the Raiders have had that, but it wears on the defense when an offense can't put points on the board.
Yeah, we're looking at Rob Ryan. I guess the embodiment of that was when his dad, Buddy, took a swing at Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator of the Houston Oilers, on the sidelines. I guess that really personified the frustration of one unit against another.
Exactly, because on offense, if you're moving the ball and you're scoring points and your defense giving up points, you have a chance. When your offense isn't scoring, your defense is, you really don't have a chance.
All right, Marshall, thanks so very much. Hey, Merry Christmas, pal.
Same to you.
We saw Sammy Knight coming through there and throwing Andrew Walter for a loss. The Raiders will give it up on downs, but I guess the Raider fans are at least happy that this time Walter held on to the football.
Yes, he did hold on to it, but they should be able to slide and pick that up. There was 4 guys coming to the one side, and you should be able to pick that up.
Shane Leckler on to punt. Dante Hall has had a busy night. He's stationed at his 20.
That's a return type ball right there. That's a low one.
Line drive. Hall will return it. He's trying to get to the far sideline. Gets it back to the 42-yard line.
Leckler doesn't punt many like that.
And so the Chiefs will come back out. They're out in front by 8.
Descriptions or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
We have 3:28 to play in the third period in Oakland. The Chiefs out in front of the Oakland Raiders, 17-9. Raiders have the only points of the second half. Chiefs starting this drive with good field position from their own 42.
Offside.
And somebody jumped early on the left side of the Chiefs formation. It would appear to be Brian Waters, but we'll see.
False start. Number 54, our offense. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Brian Waters, he just made his 3rd Pro Bowl in a row. Both offensive guards going. Will Shields made his 12th consecutive Pro Bowl, the right guard.
Your guy, Gunther Cunningham, saved Waters' career. He was a tight end.
Yeah, that's right.
And Gunther told him, hey, you know what, young man, you can make a lot of money as offensive lineman in this league. This is Larry Johnson. Crossing midfield, getting a first down as he gets to the 45 in the arms of Michael Huff.
They trapped, I think. They pulled and trapped and created a hole up inside, as we'll see it here. Quarterback is going to come back and give it to him, setting to his right side. Here's the tackle trap. That's what I thought I saw. He hits that crease like that, gets going up. He is tough to get down.
And one more carry, and he will tie a franchise record. Kansas City Chiefs, one more carry would tie Christian Okoye for rushing attempts in a season. Gets this one past the 40-yard line to the 3rd down. Again, we have some extracurricular activities up in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. That was Tommy Kelly involved for the 2nd time tonight. No flags on the play.
He's another great big guy, 6'6".
Oh, they're an all-bus team. When they get off the bus, they are very, very impressive. They do have the biggest roster in the league. Johnson again. Not much there.
There's the record.
The Nigerian Nightmare. Remember him? You must have coached against him, didn't you?
Coached against him? No, not really.
You didn't?
No.
When you were at the Eagles, he wasn't a factor with the Chiefs.
No.
Okay.
He was after.
Number 37.
What do you think, Dick? That gives him 371 for the year. Too many?
For me, no. Give it to your best player.
Not going to wear him out?
Not him.
Johnson will try for the first down to get it. He'll have to string it out, and he won't get there.
Great job of defense there. Defensive player did a nice job.
I think that was Kirk Morrison.
Yeah, and as well as I think Robert Thomas was involved as well. Did a real nice job. You'll see they gets penetration and forces him back, and he can't get turned upfield because Will Shields, the guard himself, gets knocked back. Real good downhill linebacker played by Robert Thomas. Here he comes to the outside there. Excuse me, it's not Robert Thomas.
Yes, it was. It was Thomas.
It
was Thomas first.
Oh, Thomas first. Okay.
Thomas first, Morrison second, and here's Johnson.
First down.
Getting the first down to the 33-yard line.
In being around Larry, you would notice sometimes as he gets lathered up and goes through the ball game and keeps going, he gets stronger and gains momentum as the game goes on.
You know, for the first time tonight, I talked about you in Philadelphia. It gives me an opportunity. What'd you think of Greg Kinnear's performance in Invincible?
He made me look pretty good, I think.
You think he looks like you?
Well, you know, I don't know. I've had people tell me he did, but I don't know. I don't look at things that way. I've had people say he even looked like me.
Well, we'll get a shot of him in just a moment. D. Brown gets a carry, and we're coming to the end of, there's another little infraction. There's Greg Kinnear. Looks kind of like a young Dick Vermeil.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Well, we thought we were going to have the end of the period there, but Derek Burgess decided to take matters into his own hands and deposited one of the Chiefs on his derriere after
Personal
the whistle.
foul after the play. Unnecessary roughness, number 56. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Oh.
See. Yeah, not smart. Not smart. He pushes Casey Wigman down. Casey kept his poise, and he is the leader. Derek Burgess is the leader. But there was a negative move.
Art Shell stoic as always, and that's rubbed some people here in Oakland the wrong way. I guess some of his critics here want him to be more demonstrative. But if you know Art Shell, that's not Art's way.
Yeah, you got to be yourself.
It never has been.
If it works, fine. If they were winning, they'd say they'd love how calm and cool he is on the sideline.
Is he a gentleman or what? We've reached the end of the third period, and they'll take the lonely walk down to the other end. The Chiefs will retain possession. They're leading 17-9. Tampa Bay, those folks shared some good times down there together, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, they won a lot of football games and played great defense.
Following the personal foul, the Chiefs have a 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. And this is Johnson again. Man, he's getting a workout tonight.
Warren is just a seasoned greetings guy down there, isn't he?
He's had a good night.
He must be trying to apply for a job. Hard to cut him off when he starts in a direction. Hard to cut him off from an outside angle like that by an offensive tackle. Usually needs some help inside.
Sorry, give Johnson a pickup of 3. There's the end around. This time Eddie Kinnison takes it, trying to get back to the first down marker, but he's rudely brought down at the 10-yard line. Thomas Howard came over and hog-tied him.
Well, they've been giving the ball to Larry Johnson in one specific direction, getting flow, people coming in from the backside. That's a good call. Counter it, give it that motion back coming around.
Well, that's the one you talked about in the first period when it was Dante Hall coming around.
Yes.
3rd and short for the Chiefs. Green with 2 defenders in his face gets it off, but in and out of the hands of Chris Wilson, who was not going to get the first with the reception anyway.
They bar everybody here. You'll see everybody in the box coming in here. You'll see it right here. He starts, here they come. There's too many people to block. He can't get set up to throw the ball in any way. Many times you get just enough ump on that kind of a throw that you can get it there. At that time he couldn't do it.
And so Tynes is on for a 28-yard field goal attempt. He's already made one from 29 and missed from 44. This one's right down the middle. And Tynes, with a lot on it, has moved the Chiefs out in front by 11. They're out in front 20-9 with 13:40 to play in the game.
Good call.
Back in Oakland alongside Dick Vermeil, I'm Bryant Gumbel, wishing you and yours all the best of health and happiness throughout the holidays and beyond. Lawrence Tynes has just moved the Chiefs further out in front, just added 3 more. They're leading at 20-9 as he kicks away to Chris Carr. Again, Carr taking it at his own 12. Got a couple of blockers there and works his way back to, we'll see where they spot this, just past the 40-yard line. The Raiders' old bugaboo of turnovers has hurt them tonight. A couple of fumbles have left the Chiefs operating with a short field position. They've capitalized with 10 points off those turnovers. Touchdown pass here from Green to Eddie Kennison. And it's been a big night as usual for Larry Johnson. He's carried 23 times, has 97 yards and a touchdown. And so the Raiders offense will be in business. They're saying that Carr stepped out at the 40. Walter throwing on first to Justin Fargas out of the backfield. Fargas gets it back to the 43-yard line before Ty Law wraps him up.
The Chiefs' defense has really improved in terms of giving up the big plays from a year ago. You know, it's just a better cohesive unit, and they just haven't given up as many touchdown passes as we did a year ago, nor big plays.
Gain of 4 on that completion. Fargas will run it, try the left side. He won't get very far. Kendrell Bell and Kavika Mitchell teaming up to stop him.
They tried a little counter
Robert
action.
Gallery is coming out holding his left shoulder in an awkward position.
It was the knee that he hurt before. Here's Gallery, number 76. There, you can see him to the right side of your screen. That's got a shoulder stinger. You know, that nerve tingle goes all the way down through your back and shoulder.
Mitchell's coming. He's stopped. Walker gets it away. Completes it to Doug Gabriel.
Very good protection pickup on that blitz situation there. They stepped up, maintained a pocket for him to throw the ball in. He did a nice job.
Mitchell timed it nicely, as you'll see, but he was picked up.
Yeah, you have Rashad Lead, 42, is in there. See him, boom! He cuts the guy down there, gives him room, gives him time to throw the ball. Three-man pattern, operates it nicely.
At some point, if you're the Raiders, don't you have to throw it down the field at some point to loosen this up a little bit? I mean, Walter's got a lot of completions, but they've all been short, Dick. 18 of 25, but he hasn't stretched the defense at all.
He hasn't.
Chased out of the pocket by Jared Page. Give Page the sack. Walter could not elude him.
Jared Page, the safety, coming in. Obviously on a call blitz by Gunther Cunningham. Here he is right here, coming from the outside. Play action too. Back's going away from him. It's tough. Now you'd like to think that Crockett might spot him and go in and move back to the outside and pick him up. He didn't see him soon enough.
Page out of UCLA. What is it about UCLA and safeties? Page, Shara, Easley?
You're going way back, aren't you?
Well, I'm sorry. A loss of 3. Walter will complete this one over the middle to Randall Williams, and it would appear to be another Oakland first down.
I tell you, Andrew Walter is impressive to me. When you give him a little room and time, and it's a nice quick snap delivery, he hums it. See, again, he's given time to throw the football. Greg Wesley moves in and makes the play.
Come on, dude.
Chiefs moving, Raiders moving effectively under the guidance of second-year pro Andrew Walter. Walter will roll this side, trying to get out of traffic, shovels it.
See that?
To Justin Fargas, but didn't quite have enough on it.
Tom Bahali was coming around the outside, you know, and it pushed him over to the other way. And this guy, here he is, a rookie. Got 6 sacks on the year as a rookie. He'll be coming around to the right side.
He was being held, too.
Yeah, he just had no place to go.
Fargas, speaking of no place to go. And so once again, the Raiders are going to find themselves in a 3rd and long position. And this is what Art Shell told us yesterday. He said, we're just finding ourselves in positions where you can't win. Where everybody knows you're going to throw. And with the offensive line problems they've had, they haven't had time to throw. That's why Raider quarterbacks have been sacked now 70 times this year. Chiefs look like they're coming. And Walter does a nice job throwing it out there. Ronald Curry, and would appear to have picked up the first down.
This time they do pick up the blitz, and he's able to set his feet and throw the ball accurately. Here's Rashad Lee, number 42 at the fullback position. Running back position. He steps over and picks up 44 coming there. Keeps the cushion inside. Threw that ball as accurately as you could throw a football.
That was the same Jared Page who had just sacked Walter.
Right.
2 plays before. That time Crockett picked him up. Good drive for the Raiders. Walter throwing for the end zone. Picked off Jared Page. He was going for Courtney Anderson, but Walter throws his 13th interception of the year.
I think Page was the one that picked him off on the final drive of the game.
Well, he picked Brooks off in the final drive of the game, the first time these two teams met. We'll get a second look at it when we come back. Page short-circuiting the Raiders at the goal line.
At 8 on NFL Network.
We noted the Oakland turnovers at the top of the telecast, and there's a good indication of why they're 2-12 this year. 4 turnovers in this ball game. One of them really was at the end of the first half. It wasn't really a turnover, but Chiefs have capitalized with 10 points off those turnovers. So Jared Page interception at the goal line has put the Chiefs offense in business at the 20. We'll show you that play in just a moment. First, Larry Johnson finding running room outside before Fabian Washington comes up and stops him. Coach?
Here's the interception. You'll see the receiver coming here. They're going to go in a vertical stretch here. The tight end right here. It comes down in here. They're going to take this tight end and run him to the corner to isolate this safety. But Page did a real good job of sitting back there, looking back into the backfield. He sees Courtney Anderson coming down there. He jumps it right now. He's watching the quarterback all the way. Very well played, especially for a rookie.
And especially for a local kid. He grew up only a few miles from here, played at San Leandro High. Boy, has he haunted the Raiders this year. You're right, the Raiders could have won that first ball game, but for his interception in the end zone with just seconds left. What a play by Tyler Brayton.
It looked like Larry should have gone up underneath that block rather than trying to get outside of it. Of course, that's what it looks like from up here. He sees it at a different angle.
And Tyler Brayton is the kid you wanted, right, in the draft?
Yeah,
the year in place of Larry Johnson,
right,
correct?
I wanted to draft a defensive player, and he was the guy on the board at the time. Yeah. He's a high motor guy. He hasn't been as productive as I thought he would be, but he's a high motor type player.
The Chiefs wound up drafting Larry Johnson instead, for which I'm sure they're not sorry.
No.
This is Johnson. Gets a good block from Gonzalez and pushed out at the 41-yard line.
His yards are really starting to amount now. Nice draw play. You're going to see the lead back here. He's going to slide underneath and hit the hole. Here's Wilson, 84, leading through. He gets the block right there. Then it's upfield for Larry. When you give him that kind of room, you're asking for problems.
Johnson now with 26 carries and 119 yards to go with his touchdown. That's his 10th 100-yard game of this season.
4th against the Raiders in his career, too.
D. Brown getting it back close to the 45-yard line. Again, a happy holidays to the Kansas City fans who are joining us this evening. Christmas Eve through December 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern. NFL Network and Time Warner will bring you a free view of NFL Network in Kansas City. This free view includes first-year coach Ron Prince and his Kansas State Wildcats taking on the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers in the Texas Bowl. If you want to find out more, visit iwantnflnetwork.com. D. Brown continues to give Larry Johnson a rest. He has a conversation on the ground there with Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp's his self-appointed greeter tonight. He does have quite a personality, though, for being a mean, tough football player.
I'm sure this isn't what he bargained for when he signed out here.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, this is a franchise that has won, what, 15 ball games over the past 4 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's just 15. Third down for the Chiefs. Green will throw for it, and finding Tony Gonzalez, he gets back to the 36-yard line. Stuart Schweiger muscles him out of bounds.
They ran a little pick that time with Jason Dunn in motion, the tight end from the other side of the field, and Tony Gonzalez comes off underneath you. Now you'll see the bottom of your screen, there comes 89. He picks him off, and Gonzalez, 88, gets underneath him for a nice gain.
Look at Warren Sapp.
Hey,
Warren says, I need a breath.
Yeah.
I need a breath.
Yeah. And a hot dog.
But Warren remains in the ballgame. Art Shell turned a deaf ear to him. Green will throw on first down. And picked on this side. Nnamdi Asomugha with his 8th interception of the season.
Tremendous coverage. Tremendous coverage.
Well, we talked about how they've been throwing his side despite his interceptions. This time, the young man out of California comes up with it and turns it over to the Raiders offense. Back in Oakland, Nnamdi Asomugha has accepted congratulations from the sidelines for his 8th interception of the year, tying for the NFL lead.
He's up there in the press man, and Eddie Kennison, 87, runs a deep comeback, and Asomugha is following him on that rear hip, boy. It's tough to throw the comeback, but great coverage on his part.
Asomugha in a breakout year, and this is 4th season in the league. As we noted, he had no interceptions his first 3 years. He's now got 8. But the Raiders are trailing by 11, and they have to throw. And Johnny Morant breaks the tackle, loses the handle.
Chiefs have got it. It looked like it anyway.
It would appear the ball is going over to Kansas City, and indeed it is. Derek Johnson on the hit. And if you want an indication of what's wrong with the Raiders this year, that's it.
Derek Johnson has those long arms, and he can reach out and take a ball away from you. He comes right, there's 24, it's Ty Law, not Derek Johnson. He knocks it out of there. Johnny Morant. Now, Johnny Morant.
It was Johnson on the fumble recovery.
Yeah. Johnny Morant hasn't been playing a lot of football. You know, all of a sudden he's into a game, and, you know, he's not used to keeping that ball secure like he should.
The Raiders' 5th turnover of the night. As we noted earlier, they came in here with a league-high 38 turnovers, 17 fumbles, 21 interceptions, all league highs. Yeah. And Larry Johnson gets it. As we move toward the 5-minute mark, the Raiders would seem to be headed for their 8th straight defeat.
Yeah. Well, when you turn the ball over, it's just impossible to win. I mean, you look at these graphics. Teams that commit fewer turnovers win 82% of the time. -1 or worse, that means you win 18%.
Well, a lot of things have held true to form tonight. Yeah. It's held true to form that the Raiders can't score a touchdown. They've got 9 points. They didn't. Held true to form they're going to turn the ball over. They've turned it over 5 times tonight. Held true to form they can't score in the second half. They've just got 3 second-half points. This is Larry Johnson, spun down by Kirk Morrison.
Kirk Morrison came in from the middle linebacker spot behind the play.
And we've got a timeout for the Raiders, and we'll take it with them. The Chiefs are out in front, 20-9 with 4:38 to play.
Could not be denied.
Coming up next, it's the Home Depot post-game show. Join the entire Total Access crew for highlights and analysis and post-game interviews. Mooch, and Dion, Marshall, and of course, Rich Eisen running the show. We've moved inside the 5-minute mark, and the Chiefs have the ball and the lead. And they have Larry Johnson, who stutter steps his way for a gain of 2. Warren Sapp again in the middle of things. And a timeout once again. Raiders stopping the clock. Using their second timeout of the half. Herm Edwards clinging to faint hope of a playoff. Everything was going their way. They were 7-4 and leading the Cleveland Browns 28-14, and had a rookie quarterback coming in Derek Anderson. Suddenly Anderson threw 2 touchdowns, and in the overtime ripped off the biggest run of his life and set up a field goal. And just like that, the Cleveland Browns beat the Chiefs, and the Chiefs lost 2 more, which has put them at 7-7.
Invariably,
they look like they were headed for 8-4.
Yeah. Invariably, when you miss the playoffs and you were close, it's when you allowed a losing team to beat you. When a good team beats you, when the Chargers beat you or something like that.
You got to beat the beatables.
It's the same thing that happened to us last year when Buffalo beat us and they ended up with 4 wins on the year.
You got to beat the beatables.
You've got to beat them.
Dustin Colquitt will try to pin the Raiders down in their own end, and he will successfully, unless the Chiefs totally botch this. It'll come the rest at the 4-yard line. And the Raider offense will trot onto the field with just 4:15 and 1 timeout to work with. As we told you, this is a big weekend to come. The Ravens and the Steelers, that's a key matchup. The Saints in the Meadowlands to play the faltering Giants. The Patriots and Jaguars, a big game for the Jaguars. The Chargers still seeking to hold position in the AFC. And the Bengals and the Broncos, the Bengals need that one there. And perhaps the biggest one of the day, the Eagles playing the Cowboys. The Eagles, if they win that ball game, can still win that division.
Yeah, and they've been playing well. You know, I see the highlights all week long when I'm home there in Philadelphia, and you see a lot of good things going on.
Jeff Garcia has played very, very well for Andy Reid and company.
Fumble.
Ball's loose. They're going to call it down. That was Ty Law coming up with a hit on Courtney Anderson.
He's done that a few times in his career, especially when you're rolling up in a double zone. But about 780 tackles in his career. Well, did he have possession of that?
Yeah, they're giving him the completion. Wow, they got away with one. This one's completed to Ron Curry, just short of the marker. They totally got away with one. That was definitely a fumble, but they called it a completion and gave him a 2-yard gain. This is Rashard Lee finding running room and crossing the 21-yard line before he's brought down. That was Greg Wesley coming up from his safety position to apply the muscle.
The Chiefs are in a very loose, conservative defense right now, not taking any chances, so they give him a 10-yard run or whatever it may have been. They're more concerned about not giving him the big play.
The clock is their ally at this point. And Walter will throw and will find Curry. And Curry will step out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
This was a crossing pattern all the way across the field to Ronald Curry, and it accurately thrown. Boy, 2 feet in front of the numbers. He gets back, he gets good protection, he turns back, he sees good anticipation right where he had to put the ball, allows the receiver to keep running. Well done.
And Curry has a 100-yard night. He's now got 101 on 10 catches. Of course, getting out of bounds, he stopped the clock with 2:56 to play. The Raiders still have a timeout, but they need 2 scores. Completes this side. This is Courtney Anderson. We have a flag down on the field as Anderson steps out of bounds.
Holding, number 76, offense, 10-yard penalty remains, first down.
That's Robert Gallery.
Holding on Jared Allen.
So much was expected out of Gallery when he came out of Iowa. They thought he would be a foundation upon which they could build a great offensive line, but it just hadn't worked out that way.
Yeah, but he still might be. They don't have to. You don't ever quit on an offensive lineman that's big, because they come along, they get better.
He is big, 6'7", 325, now in his 3rd year out of Iowa. Walter with time hits Rashard Lee. Lee fighting for the out of bounds marker, but can't get there. And so the clock will tick. We're inside 2:40 and counting.
Boy, you know, I've been there a few times in my career. Last game or end of the season, and you're out of the playoffs, and you're on the road. And you're tough.
Walter throwing for Curry again.
Nice close.
And this just isn't going to get it done. We've talked all night about how they have to throw the ball down the field at some point.
Well, the Chiefs right now in the defense that they're playing make it very difficult. To be very high risk.
And they're trying to get one off here before the 2-minute warning, but it's a 3rd down. And they do get it off. And Walter will complete it to Courtney Anderson. And as he drops to the turf, that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Walter will come to the sideline and talk about it. They need 11 points. They've got just one timeout to work with.
NFL Network is brought to you by Diet Pepsi. Live NFL, drink Diet Pepsi. Microsoft, software for the people-ready business.
The lights are bright in McAfee Coliseum, but the hopes are dim for the Oakland Raiders. They're down looking at a 4th and 3 to keep the 4th and 4 to keep the drive alive. They're trailing the Kansas City Chiefs 20-9. And if they hope to avoid an 8th straight loss in the season and an 8th straight loss in this series, they're going to have to do something spectacular in our time remaining. Walter for Anderson. That wasn't spectacular enough.
No.
And so Walter will walk off after a fairly unproductive evening. The numbers look nice everywhere except the scoreboard. 27 for 37, 226 yards, but 2 picks, and his team's going to lose.
Yeah, he did a lot of good things to win the ball game. You know, he's playing with an offensive line where only 2 starters have started the whole game. They got 2 rookies starting at guard. You know, so there's a lot to build on within that offensive line. It's a young football team, and I think he, as a quarterback, did some very good things.
I'll take that as a blessing. Whether the Raiders would concur by season's end when they figure to do an assessment of a lot of people around here.
Yeah, well,
that remains to be seen.
Yeah. I think they'll pound the rock now.
Larry Johnson will pad his totals.
See how he does that?
Does a little okey-doke there on Tyler Brayton. I think he broke Brayton's ankle.
He has great ability to sink his hips, keep his feet apart, all the cleats in the ground, and go in the direction he has to go to avoid contact. He watch his hips go down when he wants to move now. He'll sink down there, see it sink down there, feet apart. He can break, and he can go any direction. Now he's back this way. See? He does that extremely well. And with great power.
That takes him past the 130-yard mark for the night. Unofficially, he's at 134 on 30 carries. This will be his 31st carry. And he'll get it to the 41-yard line.
Take him out of there and let somebody else carry it. How'd you like to get him hurt in this situation in the ball game? Not good.
A la Marty Schottenheimer and Drew Brees last year. Coming up next, the Home Depot postgame show. Join the entire Total Access crew for highlights and analysis and, of course, postgame interviews.
Herman's done a good job in his pro football
Herm's happy.
career.
He said yesterday, look, all we need is a win. We just need a win.
You come here and get a win. This is a record. 4 wins against the Raiders in a row by a Kansas City Chief football team.
In Oakland.
In Oakland. That's what I mean. That's a record. Good job. And hey,
and so Herm can finally smile.
You don't get to smile very often.
Yeah, he'll spend the holidays in Seaside, back home. And there's a look at Larry Johnson since he became a starter. Look at that production, will you? Look at that production.
Yeah, he's a great football player.
And we understand that LJ will make an appearance in the post-game show. And this will be our final play of the ball game. Trent Green will bring us to a nice conclusion with a kneel down. And Herm Edwards will extend holiday greetings and best wishes to Art Shell. Whether it's the last time he'll get a chance to see him at midfield remains to be seen. Art's future here in Oakland very much in doubt. He's got a ball club that has now moved to 2-13, and they've lost 8 straight. As for the Chiefs, they've picked up a win. They move to 8-7, and their playoff hopes are alive. They've won it tonight, 20-9. For Dick Vermeil and all the good folks here associated with our game, I'm Bryant Gumbel. Thanks so very much for being with us. We wish you and yours all the best of